Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the tier 8 German battleship, the Bismarck, and I would be using these modules and commander skills if this match were on the current patch, but it isn't, it's from quite a while ago. Anyways, it's a match on the map Ocean, and unfortunately it is a tier 10 match, which means that I am bottom tier and, well, I started out with shooting at an enemy ZOW that appeared. Even though it's at very long range, I might still have some success since it is still a... Never mind, I take back everything I said because none of my shells even got anywhere close. So, there are carriers in both teams and because this is Ocean, what's very likely to happen is that both teams will group up. You can already see it on the minimap that my team is all pretty much heading in the same direction and into one big blob. Two reasons: one, because it protects you very well against carriers, and two, because it's Ocean. There isn't all that much room to go into different places, and there are no islands that will stop you from trying to squeeze as many ships as tightly together as you want. That is, you can always spread out if you need maneuverability. Oh, our Shokaku actually got one of the DDs down, and this Kagero just ran into my secondary range. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, and my secondaries are already opening up on a DD. I also use my guns, obviously, because if we can take out DDs early, that's going to be very useful, especially on Ocean. And that's why I don't turn away to run away and instead turn closer. Now, I do start turning away now since the DD disappeared and I don't want to get suddenly torpedoed. By the way, I think right now Kagero should still be tier 9 in this match, that is. And that should be actually it for the Kagero. Hopefully. Or not. Well, secondaries hopefully will finish. 34, excellent, gone. Oh, it was actually a fire. Even better. So, we have actually got 2 of their DDs down. Unfortunately though, we have already lost one of ours, and I think our Kagero is going next. The upside though is that we started out with 4 DDs while they only had 3, which means that we should still maintain our capping advantage. Now the downside is that I think they got more battleships. No, never mind, they got an extra cruiser instead. But since I am a tier 8 ship in a tier 10 game, I am not the main star of this show, at least not at this current moment, so I don't really want to go much closer unless my other allies go first. Now if you look at the minimap, you'll actually see one battleship going really close, and that's the Tirpitz in front of me. And as you can see, that guy's not having a very good time. And essentially, because I don't want to have the same thing happen to me as is happening to that Tirpitz, I don't want to YOLO in like that. I would much rather if some of my allies, the other battleships that is, came with me. Although it would be very nice if I could get within 10.6 kilometers of an enemy target to make use of my secondary guns. Because while my main guns are nice and all, well, secondaries help out quite a bit. And it seems the Tirpitz is mad about hackers and aimbotchers or something, but honestly, it doesn't matter. His problem was positioning more than anything else. And perhaps not even his own positioning, but rather his positioning relative to where his teammates were. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean it was his fault. It could have been the fault of the teammates as well. Including me, but, you know, I'm not gonna YOLO in to die with him. That would be silly. I would much rather one of these tier 10 battleships on our team try helping out. So the enemy team only has 1 DD left. If we can take out that guy, then we should be able to get a really good handle on cap zones. Although we have already lost 3 of our DDs, so we only have 1 left as well. And interestingly enough, both teams have 1 cap zone, and B has not been capped yet. And it seems both teams are spiraling in towards each other, which means that soon we will be at a closer range to fight. Which is actually very good for me, especially if both teams are fairly close by, because that means I can use my secondary guns to deal extra damage. Now, it still relies a lot on my teammates actually, going in. And I don't want to be the first one, because if I go in, then unfortunately in Ocean it's very difficult to disengage due to the fact that there are no islands you can suddenly hide behind. So everything would come down to concealment, and my concealment is not very good, I think. I mean, it's 14.3 kilometers, so... yeah, I suppose going any closer would be a bit silly. Unless my team came with me, that is. I noticed that there were planes heading towards our CV, so I pinged, just in case he didn't notice, but he probably did. So my secondaries are opening up on the Fletcher. That was good, although, it was only visible for a few seconds. And actually right now I am aiming at the Kutuzov, because I expect the Kutuzov maybe doesn't quite expect me to fire my main guns, but in retrospect I should have fired at the Fletcher. Because the Fletcher was visible. Yes, it worked out nicely because one of the other ships took out the Fletcher. However, if I could have done some extra damage on the Fletcher, and that would have been useful. So now I switch to the Iowa to finish her off. Hopefully we will actually get the kill and she doesn't get away with very little HP and then heals up again. And well, our blob is in the A cap, their blob is in the C cap, and that's going to be our fight. Now the problem right now actually is that while the Zao is firing at me, which is actually good, she is very close or already in the range of firing at our carrier, and that would be a problem. So our carrier needs to definitely try to disengage as much as possible, and that's why I'm so happily taking these shells from the Zao, at least until this point. Because I would much rather that guy fire at me than the carrier. Alright, we are actually ahead now. We only have lost 4 ships, they have already lost 6. And they have lost all their DDs, which should put us at quite an advantage in terms of cap zones. Now, I'm currently heading away, but I'm gonna turn closer again. You see, one of the things that I do a lot is I keep maneuvering. I keep angling in a way where enemies don't really want to shoot at me because I am angled enough, or I'm moving at in a way that makes it difficult to hit, or things like that. And this often means that I can't maneuver this means that I often need a lot of room, but on this map I have plenty of room, so I can do all kinds of maneuvering. So like right now, if you noticed, I was near the A-cap side, like where the planes are right now on the minimap, right? And I could have headed in a straight line to where I am currently, to the B-cap, or where I am going currently to the B-cap. But that would have opened me up to the Tirpitzes, and I would have shown flat broadside. So what I did instead was, I was sailing away at an angle from the Tirpitz, and then I turned closer, and now I'm heading towards the Tirpitz at an angle. So at no point did I really spend an extended amount of time showing broadside to the Tirpitz, which means that I wasn't a good target to fire upon. And even if they did fire upon, it would not have been as deadly. And I do this kind of maneuvering a lot in battleships because it's very, very important. And it means that you tend to take a lot less damage. However, with islands in play you usually can't do that, at least not as much as you would like to. Because they force you to turn, like these torpedoes did for a while, but they are gonna disappear in a moment, I think. Yep, right before my ship. But I still turned because I was afraid of it. That the torps might hit. That I might take more than one even. And, I want to switch targets maybe anyway. Although Azao is a better target, I do want to be at least somewhat angled towards the Yamato. While I know that the Yamato can overmatch me from the front, there's still the problem that if I show broadside, then those shells are much, much, much more likely to penetrate me compared to if I am angled or nose on more or less. I really would like it if we could take the B-cap, and I have been inside this B-cap for quite a while. Unfortunately, none of my teammates have actually come in here with me, and because I am being shot at by both of these Zaos once in a while, I can't seem to actually be able to take this cap zone. And because they are fire spitters that can deal a lot of potential damage, I just leave the cap zone. I mean, we are winning, so it's not as important, but I do wish my teammates had come with me into the cap zone so we could have taken it already. It is what it is. That Yamato should go down soon, and my secondaries are opening up, so even if nothing else will kill it, eventually I will get a few fires that will take care of it. Although these planes coming in towards me are a bit of a problem, so I'm gonna start turning the other way, which is turn into them, because that's what you should be doing to torpedo bombers. And yeah, I think that Yamato's done. Excellent. The other Bismarck got a fire kill. I think these are auto drops because... What? So what I did is I slowed down and started the turn, but then I saw that they dropped from so far away that I started speeding up again. There is no reason to slow down. The reason why I want to slow down is because it's a bit unexpected, because the ship does a slightly sharper turn if you slow down, because, you know, you're not going forward as quickly while the rudder is shifting, and that's why I like using it against carriers. But because he dropped so far away, it didn't matter anyway. And now we actually have the Shokaku visible. By the way, nobody has capped the B cap yet, and the game has lasted for 12 minutes and 40 seconds already. And we still have not capped the B cap, nor has the enemy team. But yeah, they have 100% lost at this point because they have lost their carrier, and losing the carrier is pretty much a death sentence in most cases. Because the carrier just determines so much, that is, the absence of a carrier, while the enemy team does have one, gives the team with the carrier a massive advantage because the other team can play defensive and just let the carrier pick targets off one by one. And it's very, very difficult to overcome, especially on a map like Ocean. So, I had a little bit of fun with this other Bismarck, and had some help with turning into the cap zone. And that's goodbye for the Shokaku. And if you notice, I have 4 kills, but I still have not even broken 100k damage this game. Quite surprising, but I suppose I did shoot a lot at cruisers and destroyers and all kinds of other fun ships. But now we're gonna take the sea cap and finish off these 2 Zaos that are both still alive. If you read the chat, somebody's really mad at the Zaos, but honestly I think the Zaos played well. I think they made the right decisions. They did not suicide like apparently the rest of their team. And I think that the Zaos actually played well, and it's the team of the Zaos that let them down. They are cruisers after all. They are not supposed to go in and do all the tanking, etc. stuff. By the way, at this point the game has lasted here for 17 minutes and no team has capped the B cap. Although we're gonna fix it in a moment. By the way, I also got a Kraken by killing one of these Zaos. And this game should end very, very soon. Still though, it took 17 minutes for either team to cap the B cap on Ocean. And the last salvo, I tried to spread it out as much as possible because I only need 1 shell to hit. And none did, which is disappointing as hell. And we reached 1,000 points. Oh well. Although, yeah, that Zao survived then. Wow. Impressive, impressive. So, Fireproof, Dreadnought, Q Jumper, I don't know what that is, a Kraken Unleashed, while only dealing 114,000 damage. In a Battleship, in a tier 10 game, and I actually assisted 2 cap zones. Team score, 3,213 basic spirits, but I don't remember whether this was before or after the change, so it might very well be that this was before the change, so the experience amount is not actually that impressive. There's the detailed report. My potential damage is almost non-existent. I took much more damage than potential damage taken. And my damage is not impressive either. There's the credits and XP. Well, almost 270,000 profit. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then like it. If not, then dislike it. And I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Dangalon, and I hope I see you guys next time.